So to all the Patreon members, I want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. I want to thank you guys for the subscribers, the new viewers, last time viewers. I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share the video. Check out the links for the description box below for the Facebook page and the Patreon page. I'm going to post a new Patreon video in the morning. It's been over a week since I posted a new Patreon video. So in the morning, I will post a brand new Patreon video. All right. I don't know what the topic is going to be just yet, but I'll give you guys an update on what's going on in the background. Actually, I do know what to talk about. I know exactly what to talk about. I have about 4 or 5 different topics to touch on the Patreon page. So if you're already a Patreon member, thank you. If you're not, man, you want to see what's going on in the background, because not only do I post videos, but I also post pictures and, well, not just me talking, but, I'm going to start. I got, man, trust me, I got things in the works. You don't want to miss it. All right. So right here, as you see, passport girls who mocked burqa-clad. Well, that's what the article says. So I hope I'm not getting it wrong. Passport girls who mocked burqa-clad woman in Dubai, they have been arrested. Okay. So it's 2 filthy McNasties sitting down eating at a restaurant, and I'm assuming that they're married. I'm going to assume that they're married. So this man is eating with his wife, and for her to eat and drink her food, her meal, to enjoy it, I'm guessing there's a certain type of burqa that they have to wear, to where they're still fully covered up, but I guess she can put food underneath the top part and eat, or I don't think she's allowed to pull down the top part of the burqa. All right. So these two filthy McNasties, they start recording and they laughing at her. Let me play the video. Right. So you see that she has to raise up the top part of her burqa to put the food underneath so that she can eat. You could tell that she's eating some finger food, probably French fries. Right. And these women, they're from France, and they're laughing at her. Okay, so this human Volkswagen buggy right here has like a half of a pizza on her plate, right? Jello arms. You ain't got a man to sit down with to eat, especially out in no damn Dubai. You couldn't get nobody over there to pay to sit down and eat with you. But you're going to laugh at a woman, a religious woman at that, eating with her husband and unknowingly recording them. See, the thing about it is, women in the West, they laugh at women like that because they think that she's a slave. You understand? This is a woman who is covered. I mean, not just literally, right, but figuratively as well, covered by the spirit of her God, right, her religion, her man, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure she might have some gripes and complaints, but I'm assuming this woman little to no body count, low body count, in shape, right? I mean, she's not built like them with a burqa on. She's in shape. A man is treating his wife to a meal, a luxury meal, right? And when I say luxury, I'm not saying like a 5-star restaurant, but you're in Dubai. It's, you know, outdoor, indoor type of restaurant. You have a nice view, and you don't have a man doing that for you because you built like uh Chris Farley. You Chris Farley with a wig on, laughing at them. You uncovered with a high body count. I know the slums done ran through you already. And now they're gonna run up in you in the jail because they've been arrested. This is disgusting right here. See, most men, right, especially us in the West, brothers with passport bros, there's a lot of men, they're willing to adopt a brand new religion to get a woman like this right here. It's not abuse, but it's kind of like, hey man, like we following the scripture, right? A woman who's puts her faith, her trust in her man, following the scripture, man first, your relationship with God second, the children third, right? A lot of men out west would love to travel abroad and get a woman like this right here. So have a wife just like this right here. And sure, it's a struggle. You have to eat when we're eating in public. You kind of have to make some adjustments with your burqa in order to eat. But y'all are laughing at her. You know what they're really saying? I don't know what they're saying in their language, but in their mind, it's like, shit, I could never. I could never. That's what they're saying. This woman has a family. This woman has a husband. And he seems pretty clean cut, well-to-do. It doesn't look like he's struggling. Y'all are laughing at her. And you recorded her. It's illegal to unknowingly record somebody in Dubai. And that's the problem with women. A lot of y'all want to travel over to Dubai and do the Dubai thing. You got to be on your best behavior. There's like an OnlyFans chick. She went out to Dubai and, they got the sand dunes over there. She out there on the sand dunes posing naked. Right? She naked on the sand dunes. She naked. She got a room on whatever floor, one of them high rises, on the edge, naked, posing naked out there on the roof, well, on the ledge there, right? You posing naked on the balcony in Dubai. That's illegal. Yes, you could do that in Miami. Yes, you could do that in New York City. You could do that in Chicago, Houston, Dallas, LA, anywhere in America. You can't do that over in Dubai. Remember that one hood rat that raised her voice at a man in Dubai? She got arrested for raising her voice at a man, right? And then here you are secretly recording two people who didn't ask to be recorded. You're making fun of their religion, their heritage, right? This structure right here, it works. That's why Dubai is where it's at right now economically. And they still have plans in the future. This union right here, it works because when a man has a solid wife, he does amazing things. It's kind of like, okay, damn, I grew up in a household just like this. Now I have to raise a household and we have a solid marriage, a solid union together. We have children. My friends, they have the same thing. My community, they have the same thing. So men, we need to get together and build something for our children in the future, right? I like nice things. You guys like nice things. Let's provide nice things for our children in the future so that when they get older, they can run it, right? Or they can work. You know, my son can work for your son, or your son can work for me, right? Or our sons and daughters, they can work together. But you don't get that. You out for self. And you're so selfish, you don't care about their privacy. You just making fun of everything about them, and it's against the law. What's unfair is the woman behind the camera. You don't see her, but she puts her friend on camera who didn't, you know, it's kind of like I'm not tripping, but she didn't really ask to be on camera. Your friend ain't the one who pulled out the phone and started recording. You did, and we can't see you. So I really want to know what the friend looks like, but I'm glad both of them got arrested. So let me take this off the screen and pull up the article now. Because, I mean, it's shit got real. Tourists who mocked burqa-clad woman in Dubai arrested. The police statement emphasized that the tourist violated UAE laws by filming the woman. Right? Yes, you can't see her. You don't know who she is. You don't really know her identity. You know the man's identity, but still, it's against the law. This law should be written in America. But you know why this law won't be in America? Because it's a capitalistic society. If videos can go viral, you know, these websites, they do well. The algorithm, it does well. These other platforms, they do well. Money gets circulated off clicks and views. Dubai police have arrested a group of female Western tourists for filming and mocking a burqa-clad woman at a restaurant. A video of which has gone viral on social media, sparking outrage. I don't like this either. You know, whenever I see somebody pull out a camera, I leave. I remember one time I was in Target. I was already on my way out, but two black men and a black woman walked in there with a camera, and I was like, man, let's really get the fuck up out of here. I'm glad we already on our way out, but let's really get up out of here. Because these people, they could just post you up on their platform. You don't know how many people, you don't know the amount of people that this video might reach. You don't know. The incident occurred in a local restaurant where the burqa-clad woman was, is it burqa-clad or burqa-clad? Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Woman was dining with her husband. The tourist, without seeking permission, filmed the woman and reportedly made fun of her hijab. The video was subsequently shared online. A foreign news website citing Dubai police confirmed the arrest. The police statement emphasized that the tourist violated UAE laws by filming the woman without her consent. The statement further highlighted the UAE's commitment to respecting all religions, beliefs, and thoughts, stating that criticizing or mocking another person's culture, civilization, or religion is a crime. You see, when guys with money, because everybody just can't up and move over to Dubai unless, you have an online business or, you have a job offer over there, right? Or you're starting a business over there. See, guys who have the option of living in Dubai, this right here is what draws them over to Dubai. People who are just kind of tired of the dumb shit, the bullshit. You in America, you just go to work and go back home. You don't even really like going out or being outside because the fuckery is out there. You wish that those laws over there were over here, but they're not, right? The police report details that the tourist's actions constituted a violation of public decency and respect for local customs. The video itself, which has circulated widely on social media platforms, shows the tourist laughing and making disparaging remarks about the woman's attire. This has led to a significant backlash online, with many users condemning the tourist's behavior and praising the swift action taken by Dubai police. The arrested tourists are currently facing legal proceedings. Okay. Now, you remember when DJ Eskimo, I think that's his name. He hosted a mixtape with Future. He was like Future's DJ for a minute. They had a project called 56 Nights. He was locked up for 56 nights because I believe they found a marijuana seed in his bag. Just the seed, I believe. All right. And they locked him up for that. So ain't no telling how long they're going to be detained for. No telling. I don't think it's going to be 2 months. I think it's going to be longer than that. They're going to make an example out of them. And the bad part about this is that this gets lumped with all tourists, with all foreigners. You understand? They're not going to single them out and say, hey, you know, white people, insensitive, let me say, insensitive Caucasians. They're not going to say this is an issue with insensitive Caucasians coming over here. No, this is going to be painted amongst all foreigners. But let me tell you, if they were African, they would have said this sparks outrage. You know, these Africans, this is just what they do. They come over here and yada, 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 yada. They don't really say foreigners, right? They single out people that are black, Africans, Caribbeans. And even if they were Caribbean, most people over there would just call them African, right? Or black, right? These blacks, right? You get singled out. But what they do, right? Because a lot of brothers, when we go someplace, I'm not going to say we don't do this. It's just not a common thing for us to record somebody practicing their religion, especially when they're with their wife, right? This is a married couple that are together. Most brothers that travel abroad that see this, they look over and say, man, you see, this is relationship goals for us, right? Because we pretty much know that union is probably going to last for a lifetime, right? Whereas if somebody were to try to do this with her, apart from, you know, the religious thing, like even if you take out religion, you try to build a union with her, it's probably going to last. It's not even going to last 5 years with somebody like her and her friend that's giggling behind the camera. It's not fair because you don't get to see who's behind that camera, right? I'm more so jealous of them than her because this is family, right? There's two different F's that you see right here. This is family, right? Over here with the foreigners, it's fuckery, right? No man, no husband, but you laughing at what they got. See, there's multiple different angles you could talk about out here. Yes, two women that are insensitive by local customs, religion, norms, right? Their heritage. Two women laughing at another person's heritage. Two women laughing at another person's religion. Two women recording people without their consent, which is illegal there. And it's like when we look at you, right? Looking at you, you know, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to get somebody who is well-groomed, put together as her husband. Because you see the husband and you over here with your girlfriend struggling. And now you really struggling. And good thing this was, you know, good thing this was on camera and this has gone viral and they've made articles about this because whatever company she works for, I bet she was on the phone because I don't even think in Dubai you get a phone call, right? You don't get a phone call. But if you do get a phone call, right, you called your family notified your employer, and then you probably told your family to tell your employer some bullshit. Like, I don't know, like they they just targeted us for nothing, and like we're locked up now, and they're just very strict over here. I don't know. We didn't do anything. But your employer is able to pull this article up and see you laughing at them, recording them, laughing at them. You didn't bother to even tell your friend, like, hey, man, put that phone down. Don't upload that. Delete that. You didn't even say that. You laughed along with her. Now your employer see this. You think your employer is going to keep you around? No. Oh, aha. I see what really happened here. Right? Shoot the Russian spy as an ex-Muslim. I have a different perspective. What's your perspective? Feel free to share. But here's the thing, man. All in all, when you travel someplace, you got to read up on the laws. You can't just go to Singapore and just do whatever you want to do like you would do back home in America. Okay. I'll drop the link. There you go. All right. While we're waiting on Russian spy to give us his perspective, you guys please hit the link. If you want to call up, you can hit the link also. Or if you want to support this video or support this platform, just hit the like button. That's all I ask. Share this video. I'd appreciate it. So now we're just waiting on Russian spy. All right. But hey, this could happen to anybody. This could happen to anybody. We could be walking down the street minding our business and we get picked up because, if you spit on the street or spit your gum out on the street, I mean, that's considered against the law in certain places also. So you got to read up on the laws before you travel. All right, coming to the stage, we got Russian spy. What's going on?
What up, bro?
What's happening?
Nothing much. I just wanted to get my perspective on this from an ex-Muslim's account because I noticed during the video you was speaking about the French woman, how they was unjustifiably making fun of the woman wearing the niqab or the burqa, whatever she's wearing in the video. And I think it's kind of justifiable if you take into account the Muslim immigrant crisis that's happening in Europe, especially France.
Okay. Please explain.
Okay, well, I don't really have any sources with me as of right now, but as you know, mostly inside Europe, there's a lot of immigrants being welcomed to the country, especially from places like North Africa, General Africa, and the Middle East. Especially from places like more specifically like Morocco and Algeria, because of the proximity of how close they are to places like Italy, France, and Germany. So in France, have you ever heard about them having a ban on the burqa?
Oh no.
Okay, well, yeah, this happened like a few years ago. It was very recently, but France, they got so fed up with the Muslims behaving so conventional because their religion demands it. The women, they were wearing burqas and niqabs or so. That's like the full covering of the women from like head to toe. You can't see anything but like the slit of their eyes with that uniform on. So it was causing a lot of problems with like identification. Some of them would be stealing, and you wouldn't know the identification of the person or how to describe them because of the dress and the uniform and stuff like that. So eventually, France, they decided to ban Muslim women from wearing that kind of attire in their country because the women, they were not compromising because of their religious code and stuff like that.
I see where you're coming from. So
yeah, there would be a lot of animosity between the French people and Muslims. That's why these women were more than likely behaving like that in the video, because French people generally do not like Muslims, especially North Africans.
Well, I mean, French people in general, they have a reputation of being assholes and
yeah, that's true.
Inconsiderate. But so you're saying that over in France, a lot of women would use burqas or hijabs to commit crimes because you couldn't identify who they were.
No, I'm saying that's one of the reasons that they gave when they were issuing the ban. They were saying that, well, because it was causing a lot of problems, the Muslim women, they're not really, what is it called? They're not really synchronizing themselves into the society. Like adopting the French customs and the culture. They're kind of just adhering to their culture, but they want to enjoy France at the same time versus going back home and going to their economy to do things how the way they would do it. They would come over there and they would still be hardcore Sharia, hardcore Muslims, and it's causing conflicts, cultural conflicts with the French of how they govern themselves.
I see. You putting me up on game. I didn't know about this. And
Yeah, there's a you can look it up right now. It's called the Cologne incident. It was like a New Year's Eve festival happening in Germany in 2016. It was like a little over 1,000 German women that were sexually assaulted by Muslim men during the celebration. And I'm just saying, it's because of stuff like that. That's why Europeans, especially the French, they would have problems with Muslims. This is why they have problems when they see them and stuff. They wouldn't hesitate to mock them because of stuff like that.
Oh, this happened back in 2016. You're talking about
I think it was 2016. Yeah,
Germany shocked by Cologne New Year gang assaults on women.
right.
The scaled attacks on women at the city's central railway station has shocked Germany. About 1,000 drunk and aggressive young men were involved. Okay. Now, I'm hearing what you're saying because, information is good.
Yeah,
And I didn't know about this. So I'm always, I respect anybody who can just give information because I'm constantly learning. But here's the thing. If French women, right, or French people, not just
yeah,
women, but people from France in general, if this was embedded in their culture back in France and they made it law to ban women wearing hijabs and burqas because they couldn't assimilate into French culture, it was causing
right.
different issues, then okay. But the thing is, you don't go over to their home and do this. I could see if they were in France and they did this. That's totally different. But
Yeah,
you went over to the place where people, the women are practicing their religion in a way where they have to dress a certain way and present themselves a certain way out in public in their homeland. You went to their homeland.
yeah,
This is totally different. So I see where you're coming from because it's good information, right? But if this was in France, I could understand where you're coming from.
yeah.
But
I was just explaining the animosity that the people from Europe, mostly like Germany, France, the
right,
UK, they would have towards, not even just the UK, it's Sweden as well too, because there's a lot of problems with like the Somalian, the Afghani, the Syrian migrants that's coming over there and stuff like that. They would have a huge issue with Muslims. I understand what you're saying that they shouldn't really went to the UAE and did this publicly, but at the same time, you can kind of criticize the Muslims because when they go to your country, they don't have any problem just throwing their weight around and just expecting you to adhere to their culture because they think Allah or Muhammad said that, and
mm,
that justifies everything for them.
I see. I respect your perspective also. Um, but you know what, like I mentioned earlier, people from France. I mean, people from France,
Mhm.
they have a reputation of being insensitive in other countries as well. I don't want to just single out other people also, but I see you're trying to break down their mindset on
Yeah,
why they would do something like this.
right.
I see. I see. And you want to know something? It's like sometimes I feel that, those laws over there with not just you should feel free to express yourself religiously as long as it's not harming anybody in any country. I mean, even here in America. But if it becomes a problem or an issue, then you can, hey man, it's your country. You can set limits, and somebody like this couple that's sitting at this table over here having a meal, if they choose to want to travel over to France or not,
Mhm.
that's their business. But to where their mindset is not on there and they feel free to express themselves um religiously out in public, they're in the comfort of their own home. I have opinions as well. We all got opinions, especially of a lot of black Muslims in
Yeah,
America and black Muslims in hip hop. I think that it's a disgrace how you have a religion and it's kind of like you're seeing people, especially with like Lil Durk and others,
Yeah.
just bastardizing the religion, making a mockery of it. You commit
Uh,
crimes.
I would say Islam is not really deserving of respect. If you really, I mean, I'm not sure. We can do an entire video of me just like breaking down
No, I don't.
the part.
I don't like. Well, I don't like. I don't like talking about religion. I just don't like how people, like rappers, they
Yeah,
bastardize religion. It's like you feel like within the realm of this religion here, you can just do whatever you want and be forgiven just because you converted. And so I see that going on, and I've heard other YouTubers and public figures talking about that. If have some respect for whatever it is that you practice, and don't have one foot in the streets and then one foot over here, and it's like you still committing crimes doing this.
yeah,
So
but a lot of Muslims, unknowingly, they're being two-faced. Like on in the okay, in the public, they may present themselves to be very pious, noble people, but behind doors, they're not. Especially the ones that comes from the Middle East. They're still practicing a system called kafala system, which is like almost adjacent to slavery. And in some Muslim countries, they're outwardly just practicing slavery altogether, like in Libya, Yemen, Mauritania. Um, where's another country that's practicing it? I think Syria was practicing it with some of those jihadi groups as well, because Islam allows for you to practice slavery. So that's something historically that they did. The Islamic slavery trade lasted longer than the transatlantic. Like most of these Muslim countries, especially the Arab ones, didn't stop practicing slavery by force by Western powers until like the 1970s, 80s or so. So these people, they're not really deserving of respect.
well, I mean, I'm not. I don't want to go that far. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had on Patreon.
Sure.
I do agree with, I mean, there's still slavery to this day. I think the number one country for human trafficking is India. I mean, that's still
Uh,
slavery. So
I have to look into that, but I was willing to bet that it's probably Libya or it's probably Mauritania.
yeah, yeah. I think we need to save this conversation for a Patreon video. But Russian Spy, I appreciate you coming up and giving us that insight.
Okay, sure. Well, if we can reserve a time to call and speak about this, and we can put some sources on the screen so people to learn from. I can definitely break down what's really happening inside the Islamic religion, because I was Muslim previously, so I know how these people think and I know what their doctrine says.
All right, we'll do that. I'll reach out to you. It'll probably be sometime next week.
Okay.
I won't really get. I won't know what my schedule will be until tomorrow afternoon, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay, man.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, that was Russian Spy. I see where he was coming from. Um, just the carelessness that they have, just making fun of them. That's from their country, right? Uh, Being from France and the laws that they've laid down against people who are Muslim or Islamic. Forgive me uh, if I'm getting their religion wrong, but still, you went over to their home, right, and you recorded them. It doesn't matter if that's your mindset or not. You went over there with a camera. It's illegal what you did, and you got to pay the consequences, right? Because let me tell you, if this was two guys doing this, oh man, Patreon, not Patreon, but TikTok, they would have a field day. They would say passport bros making fun of people's religion. That would be the talk of the town for about a week on TikTok. Everybody, every influencer on TikTok, it would go viral. They would call out, hey man, these passport bros, these men, these males, they're making fun of people's religion and recording a woman. They're recording a woman and putting her out there on the internet without her consent. This is a problem with these men, these passport bros. They go over to other countries and they wreak havoc on other people's lives. They need to be stopped, yada, yada, yada. Man, but these are two women. So I saw about 7 or 8 videos of this on TikTok. And I'm glad there was an article about this. I'm glad somebody said something, right? But women, they they travel abroad and they cut a fool. They act a fool also. They cut a rug and act a fool also. So Passport Green, this guy's talking nonsense. No excuse for that behavior. I don't think he was giving an excuse for that behavior. He was just giving us insight on her ideology, on the women's ideology. Too much nonsense behavior now with no consequences. Yeah, yeah. You see, it's like stuff like this. We wish, like, hey, this would happen over here as well. Maybe it's not to that extent, but adopt some of that over here. Um, we're just now starting to kind of clean house, with the election and everything. So, you're right, man. That's what he performs. Let's not put the essay. Just let's I might have to type that in, but let's censor some of that. To use the name, obviously, I'm a foundational Black American. No, Russian spy. Yeah, he's black. Russian spy is black, right? He was just joking. But look, man, and I appreciate Russian spy's perspective. Um, he said he was ex-Muslim, and if he has his views, man, I would love for him to share his views, just not on an open platform like YouTube. We could do that on Patreon. I would just sit back and let him talk, and I'd be like, okay, because I really don't know anything about Muslim religion, so it would be me just learning, right? I just don't want his views to come across as insensitive on a public platform like YouTube. So we could put that on Patreon, but it's a learning experience. Trump is trying to return us to Christian nationalism. That's not better. Man, look, I don't, I don't really like to get into religion. That's why I say we could save it for Patreon. But the fact of the matter here is, these two women, they did something that they weren't supposed to be doing, right? And people shouldn't even be doing it over here. But you got places like the Shade Room, Baller Alert, Hollywood Unlocked, World Star, that if your transgressions is caught on camera, send it to us and we'll upload it, right? There's a lot of random people we don't know getting hurt on World Star who didn't ask to be recorded, But whether they have that ideology or not, man, look, you can't go to their home. In your home, you can set rules, but you can't go to their home and break rules, right? So, anyways, man, that's all. Thank you, Russian Spy, for coming up and giving us that insight. Shoot the shooting from the sky and Passport Green. Anybody out there that's tuning in, like, subscribe, share this video. I'm over them out. I'm going to change that other live stream to tomorrow. All right. You guys take care. Peace.